is encapsulation, sir? You already know. Some of you already know. Let me know, please. If you know, please tell me in the chat window. What is encapsulation? Binding the data. Data hiding. Very good, Swap. Very good, Janardhan. Very good. So guys, some of you already have some knowledge on this one. Very simple, I will say. In any program, as I told earlier, every program deal with two things. What are they, sir? Every program deals with two things. What are they? Very good, Vikas. Very good, Vikas. It deals with two things. What are they? Data and logic. Data and logic. So right now, observe. I will say this one, data, and what is the one, sir? Logic. Any program deal with what, sir? Two things. Now I am asking the question, where we store the data? Where we store the data? Guys, where we store the data? Variables. Where we store the data? Variables. And where we write the logic, sir? Functions. Where we write the logic? Functions. So right now, very simple, combining what's a data and logic as a single unit. Combining data and logic as a, or binding, but I will say combining data and logic as a single unit is called as a what object oriented principle, sir? Encapsulation. So in this unit, we can have what's a programming structure. What is the programming structure? Variables will be there, as well as what's a functions will be there. And in the object-oriented terminology, we call them as the what's a properties and methods. So very simple. What is encapsulation, sir? Combining variables and the proper terminology, combining data and logic as a single unit is called as encapsulation. Now, data will be stored in properties. Stored in the properties, and logic will be available in the functions. Will be available in the methods. So now tell me, as a programmer, everyone should know about what's these principles. Now, in the class, so right now, where we write the encapsulated code, sir? In object-oriented programming, in the TypeScript, what is the one, sir? I'm going to write a class. So what is the class, sir? It is representing the encapsulation. It contains what, sir? It contains the properties and it contains the methods. What properties purpose, sir? Program data or class related data will be stored in the properties. What is the purpose of the function, sir? It contains the logic related to the data. If I don't want any logic, sir, there are no functions. So this is the way we are going to organize our data. This is what structures we are providing, sir. So, sir, can you explain briefly about them? Yes, very simple. Observe, to represent the student data. Observe, very simple, class. What is the class name, sir? Student. Now, in my system, every student should contain two properties, ID, name. So very simple, I'm going to write the syntax. This is the way I'm going to write a class. Now observe, ID, colon, data type. What is the data type of for ID, sir? Please participate in the chat window. What is the data type I need to use for ID? Very good. Very good, guys. What is not int body in the JavaScript programming or TypeScript programming? What is the one, sir? Number. In the same way, name. What is the data type, sir? For the name, what is the data type I should take? There is no. Very good. What is the one, sir? String. So right now, in my application, every student contains two properties. What are they? ID, name. Every student associated with that. Sir, I want to capture email also. What is the one I am going to say? Email. What is the data type I am going to take, sir? Guys, very good. What is the one, sir? String. So this is the way we are going to create our things. Now observe how to use this one, sir. This is the structure I prepared, sir. But right now, how to represent the student data? Very simple. Creating the object for that. Sir, how to create the object for that? Very simple. Let S1 equal to new student. Now we are calling the class, means we are creating the object for that. So let me create a simple project. Example 10.ts. So guys, let me create our own class related one, class. Now observe, what is the class name, sir? Student. What are the properties? ID. So if you observe the point here, we should not use let or where here. Remember this point, sir. Class properties, we should not have what's a let, name, string. Now observe, very simple, let S1 equal to new student. Console.log S1. How to compile the code, sir? TSC example 10.ts. Node example 10.js. Observe, our student data is empty or not? Because I'm not assigning any values, sir. How to assign the values at the time of object creation? How to assign the values at the object creation? Guys, you already know this point. How can you assign the values at the time of object creation? By using constructor. By using what concept, sir? Constructor concept. Very simple. Observe. It is used for what purpose, sir? For assigning the values at the time of object creation. This is what the correct word, sir. This is what the correct word everyone can easily understand who are working in the projects. As a programmer, as a fresher, or as a working person, you need to talk in the same language the developers who are working on. So how to write a constructor? Very simple. What is a function? Constructor. So this is what you are going to do. So whenever you create an object set, what will happen? The constructor will be called. So let us first understand the way. executing constructor. So let us verify. Don't blindly believe everything. S2 S2. Let us see. Let us compile the code. Let us execute the code. See, sir, every time. So right now, observe when we are executing first time, what will happen, sir? It is first calling the constructor. In the same way, how many times the constructor is executing, sir? For every object creation. For every object creation. But my requirement is, sir, I want to assign the values for the object. So right now, what are the properties are there? Two properties are there. So that is why I'm expecting two arguments. Now observe, I want to assign this value for the current object. This dot id equal to a. Now tell me how to assign the for name, sir. What is the code we need to write? I'm expecting answer from everyone. How to assign the value for the name property? Very good, Swap. Guys, there is no rocket science in this one. Very good, Shravya. Very good, Anjan. Very good, Patil. Very good, Sandeep. Very good, Janardhan. So that's good. Very good. Now let me assign the value for this one. This dot name equal to b. Now it is telling a problem here, sir. What is the problem? Your constructor is expecting how many arguments, sir? Two arguments. But are you passing any arguments, sir? No, it is not. We are not passing any arguments. So that is why I'm sending the values. Now observe 2 comma 2. Now tell me, it is telling what are the problems in our code or not? Your editor is intelligent enough to identify the problems in your code or not? That is why we need to learn in a good editor or good IDE. That is why all companies are using IDEs. So some of you are thinking that, sir, if I use Notepad or Notepad++ for my learning, I will learn more, sir. But actually, you are not learning properly. In any project, we need to use what's the IDE. So you need to have the good knowledge on the IDE to generate the logic also. So let me write the code. After completing this one, let us execute the logic. See, sir, you are able to assign the values or not? Now tell me, what is the purpose of the constructor? The purpose of the constructor is used to what's it? Assign the values. The purpose of a constructor is used to what? Assign the values. So how to access these values? I want to access the ID value. I want to print the ID value. Can you give me the syntax for this one? How to access ID value? Very good, guys. Very good. S1 dot ID. What is that dot notation is very popular. What is another notation we are having, sir? Array index notation. For S2, I want to access the name. For S2, I want to access the name by using index notation, not the dot notation. Very good. Okay, but you need some modification, Swap and Patil. Sandeep also. Guys, that is why please read the notes daily. Whatever the notes I am providing in the very good Sandeep. Okay, so this is the way. So we need to pass an argument, whatever the property name in WhatsApp. Remember our JSON always accept WhatsApp keys in what format? String format. It is a keys always in what format? String format. That is why we are expecting WhatsApp s2 of name. S2 of name. So this is the way. Let us test this program. Copy, run the code, and first step convert or compile. The next step is running the logic. See, sir, you are able to access the values or not. So this is the way we are going to work in WhatsApp by using the constructor. What is the purpose of the thing, sir? Let us revise again. So this is what you need to do when you are learning also. First one, sir, why we need to use object? Because from the server side, we always get the data in what format? Object, as well as to represent the data on client side also we use the object. Sir, how many ways we can create the object? 4 ways, sir. What are they? Value notation. Directly you can assign the values, but it is not suggestible. What is the next one, sir? Constructor function, I can use it out, but this one is outdated. Writing function. So see here, sir, you are going to call it as a class, but you are writing a function. You are going to call it as what's a class, but you are writing what's a function. These kind of things are happening. That is why this one is little confusing for the users. That is why our developers. That is why this one is also, this syntax is also is outdated, because there are some problems are there, these kind of problems. What is the next one, sir? By using a class. This one is currently very popular in our Angular programming because we use the classes. And what is the last one, sir? By using object class object also. That is what we are having. Now, what are how to write the class in better way? That is nothing but what's a encapsulation. Sir, what is encapsulation? Combining what to what, sir? Okay, you are telling you want to join two things. What are they? Data and logic as a single unit is called as what? Encapsulation. What is the purpose of data will be stored in the properties and logic will be available in the methods. For this one, we are writing what's a class. Sir, how to create a class? What is the syntax? Class, class name, open braces and closing braces. Inside the one, we are going to avoid the properties. We are going to write the properties if you want to store the data related to this class. Now tell me, what is the property name? ID. Sir, can I write A? Of course, yes. Nobody will kill you. But one thing you need to remember, you should not, it should not start with what's it? A number. You should not start with a what's a number. Why? Why? Any variable name or any property name should not start with a number. Guys, I'm asking a question. Say you know or you don't know. Why a property name or variable name cannot start with a number? S Swapnil, I am asking why it is a syntax rule. Okay, I know your faculty told this one or you read somewhere, because it is a syntax rule. Why it become a syntax rule? Ask your faculties who suppose if you are learning Java, or if you are learning .NET, or if you are learning Python or anything, just ask your faculties. Sir, why it is a rule? I will tell you tomorrow. I will tell you tomorrow those things. It looks interesting, like why array and it starts with. I will tell you tomorrow, guys. I will tell tomorrow. Means on Monday. I'm sure we'll tell on tomorrow. Means on Monday class. It is a very interesting one. After you learning that, you think, okay, this much easy. You need to feel the difference between my class and other person class, right? These are the things. I don't want to. I'm not asking the answers, buddy. Just think and understand and give me the answer on Monday. Swapni. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. What is the answer? Constructor. What is the purpose of the constructor, sir? To initialize or to assign the values. Assigning or uses it for another word is sometimes you can also use this one to initialize the values. Initialize the values or assigning the values at the time of object creation. At the time of object creation. So this is the way we can do the creation also. Now the next step. So far we are discussing about the only the properties only. Sir, what about the functions? Very simple. Example 11.ts. Observe, sir, I am not taking anything fancy here. I am taking very simple one. How to create a function? You can use a function keyword, but inside the class you cannot write like this. You can, the function keyword is removed. You no need to use the one. Console.log. I am in the M1 method. So you can write one function or two functions or any number of functions. There is no restriction on this one. M2. So this is the way I'm writing. So right now, so how to create object for this one? Very simple. Let A1 equal to new A. Now I am asking the question. Sir, how to call them one? You already know this syntax. Very simple. Variable name dot. What is the one, sir? M1. And in the same way, A1. So this one is also possible. So that is why all these classes are very, very important, sir. Why? Because you are learning the basics means you are learning all kind of things. Some of you already familiar with this one, but most of you are not familiar with this syntax. Most of you are not familiar with this syntax. That is why I'm asking you to do this thing. So right now, this one you may familiar with the knowledge in your computer science programming or C or some other programming, but this one only few of you or most of you don't know about this syntax. So this is what we are learning. So now tell me how many ways we can we can call the properties of a class by using the dot notation or by using the index notation. So let me run the code and let us write the things. Sorry, I use the 10th program only. Seems. See, sir, you are able to. Oh, method name is. See, sir, I am able to call the M1 method. I am able to call and execute the M2 method. How it is possible, sir? Very simple, by using the dot notation or by using the value notation also. So how you are going to create the syntax? No need to use a or should not use a function keyword. Should not use a function keyword inside the class. These are the rules. These are the rules we are having. Now I am asking question. What is encapsulation? What is encapsulation, sir? Combining data and logic as a single unit. Combining data and logic as a single unit is called as encapsulation. So for this one in Angular programming, we are writing about the class. What is the class, sir? Student, ID, name, email. What is the purpose of the constructor? To initialize and assign the values at the time of object creation. And every class can also contains what's the functions. How many ways we can access the function? 2 ways. Functions in the class. Okay, guys, you understand everything? Okay, good. Next one. How to update the guys, how to update the properties? How to update the property values? Updating the property values. So don't think that once we assign, the values will be there forever. You can modify the values also. You can modify the values also. Very simple. Let me show you the code. Go with this one. Okay. So see here, I'm printing the ID value. This is the ID value. Now observe, you can assign the new value here. S1 dot name equal to RK. Control A, Control D. Yeah, I'm printing the name value before updation and after updation. S1 dot name equal to, I am assigning a new value. It is also possible. So I created a class and I created the object. I provide the structure and I created the object for this one, and I'm printing the value. I can modify the value and I'm able to access the new value. So what is happening internally? So this is what the structure it is going to be have. So initially we are assigning what is the value, sir? S1. Initially we are assigning what is the value? S1. So right now S1 is available. Sorry. S1 is available. After a while, I modified the S1 value, S1 name value towards a RK. So at the time, what will happen, sir? The value will be override or will be changed to what is the value, sir? New value, that is my name. So you can also update the values also. You can also update the values also. Access and assign the new value. Access and assign the new value. So this is what also possible. In the TypeScript programming, you can also delete the property also. Remember this point, sir. Sometimes in the interviews they will ask you. Deleting the properties. It is also possible. In other programming languages like Java or .NET, it is not possible. Can we delete a property from the object in other programming languages? No, sir, it is not possible. But it is totally possible in the JavaScript or TypeScript. So let me create new function example 13.ts. Now observe the code. Delete s1.name. I'm printing the object, and after the operation I'm printing the object once again. So let me show you the code. So let me show you the execution part, 13 part. 13. So see here, sir. At first, when we construct the object, how many properties are there? Two properties are there. Can we delete the name property? Yes. In the same way, I want to delete other properties also. What is the property I'm deleting now? ID. So what will happen, sir? Here it have the two properties. Here it have only one property, ID property. Here we are removing all properties together. Let me show you example. TSC. Entire property will be deleted. Swapna. So see here, only value is deleted or entire property is deleted. Only value or property itself. Property itself. So that is what the difference in other programming language, the TypeScript object-oriented programming. TypeScript object-oriented programming. So guys, this is the way I can do. So let me pause a minute, just a minute. So I'm creating the